During a high pot test on a 20 kV XLP cable at 80 kV direct current, a sudden jump in leakage current from 4 microamps to 120 microamps occurred, stabilizing for 15 minutes at a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius and 57% relative humidity. Several reasons could explain this phenomenon. Firstly, moisture ingress is a significant concern. Moisture can penetrate the cable insulation through defects or micro cracks, causing ionization and a sudden increase in leakage current. The high humidity can exacerbate this issue. Secondly, internal electrical discharges within the insulation can create conductive paths, leading to a rise in leakage current. Thirdly, manufacturing defects or damage during installation can weaken the insulation, allowing leakage current to increase. Fourthly, small discharges occurring within the insulation can eventually degrade the material and increase leakage current. Fifthly, contamination on the cable surface, such as dirt or moisture, can provide a conductive path for leakage current. Sixthly, temperature changes can affect the insulation's electrical properties and potentially cause a sudden increase in leakage current. To assess whether the cable insulation is damaged, several steps can be taken. Firstly, visually inspect the cable for any visible damage, such as cracks, abrasions, or water ingress points. Secondly, perform an impulse test to identify any internal insulation faults. Thirdly, measure the dissipation factor of the insulation to assess its dielectric properties. Fourthly, conduct a partial discharge test to detect any internal discharges that may indicate insulation damage. Following this incident, several next steps are crucial. Firstly, immediately stop the high pot test to prevent further damage. Secondly, thoroughly investigate the possible reasons for the leakage current increase. Thirdly, if insulation damage is confirmed, the affected section of the cable should be repaired or replaced. Fourthly, ensure proper storage and handling of the cable to minimize moisture ingress and surface contamination. Finally, seek guidance from the cable manufacturer for specific troubleshooting and remediation measures. Let's delve deeper into each of these aspects. Moisture ingress is a common issue, especially in environments with high humidity. The presence of moisture within the insulation can significantly reduce its dielectric strength, leading to increased leakage current. Micro cracks, which may not be visible to the naked eye, can serve as pathways for moisture to enter the cable. Electrical discharges, both internal and partial, are indicative of insulation degradation. Internal discharges can occur due to voids or impurities within the insulation material. Partial discharges are localized discharges that do not completely bridge the insulation, but they can cause gradual erosion and eventual failure. Manufacturing defects can range from inconsistencies in the insulation material to improper bonding between layers. Damage during installation can include cuts, abrasions, or excessive bending, all of which can compromise the integrity of the insulation. Surface contamination can create a conductive layer on the cable, particularly in industrial environments where dust, chemicals, or other pollutants are present. Temperature fluctuations can cause the insulation material to expand and contract, potentially leading to stress and cracking. Now, let's discuss the assessment methods in more detail. Visual inspection should be thorough and systematic, paying close attention to any signs of physical damage. An impulse test involves applying a high voltage surge to the cable and monitoring its response. This test can reveal weaknesses in the insulation that may not be apparent under normal operating conditions. The dissipation factor, also known as the tangent delta, is a measure of the energy dissipated in the insulation material. A high dissipation factor indicates that the insulation is losing energy due to dielectric losses, which can be a sign of degradation. A partial discharge test is a sensitive technique that can detect even small discharges within the insulation. This test is particularly useful for identifying incipient faults before they lead to catastrophic failure. Regarding the next steps, it is essential to prioritize safety and prevent further damage to the cable. Stopping the high pot test immediately is crucial to avoid exacerbating the problem. A thorough investigation should involve a combination of visual inspection, electrical testing, and possibly destructive analysis of a sample of the cable. Repairing or replacing the affected section of the cable may be necessary if significant insulation damage is found. Proper storage and handling of the cable are essential for preventing future issues. This includes storing the cable in a dry, well-ventilated area and protecting it from physical damage. Consulting with the cable manufacturer can provide valuable insights and recommendations based on the specific type of cable and its operating conditions. In summary, the sudden jump in leakage current during the high-pot test is a cause for concern and requires careful investigation. By understanding the possible reasons for the increase, conducting thorough assessments, and taking appropriate corrective actions, it is possible to mitigate the risk of cable failure and ensure the reliable operation of the electrical system. Additional factors to consider include the age of the cable, its operating history, and the environmental conditions in which it is installed. Older cables may be more susceptible to insulation degradation due to aging and exposure to environmental stresses. Cables that have been subjected to frequent overloads or voltage surges may also have weakened insulation. The presence of corrosive chemicals or extreme temperatures can accelerate the degradation process. When conducting the visual inspection, pay close attention to the cable terminations, as these are often points of weakness. Look for signs of corrosion, loose connections, or damaged insulation. During the impulse test, carefully monitor the waveform of the voltage and current. Any abnormalities, such as reflections or oscillations, may indicate the presence of a fault. When measuring the dissipation factor, be sure to use a calibrated instrument and follow the manufacturer's instructions. The dissipation factor is typically expressed as a percentage, and a higher percentage indicates greater losses. The partial discharge test can be performed using various techniques, such as acoustic emission, radio frequency detection, or optical detection. Each technique has its own advantages and limitations, so it is important to choose the appropriate method for the specific application. When repairing or replacing the cable, be sure to use materials and techniques that are compatible with the existing system. Follow industry best practices for cable splicing and termination to ensure a reliable and long-lasting repair. In addition to the steps outlined above, it may also be helpful to perform a dielectric withstand test on the repaired or replaced cable to verify its integrity. This test involves applying a high voltage to the cable for a specified period of time and monitoring the leakage current. If the leakage current remains within acceptable limits, the cable is considered to have passed the test. It is also important to implement a regular maintenance program for the cable system, including periodic inspections, testing, and cleaning. This will help to identify and address potential problems before they lead to failures. Proper grounding of the cable system is also essential for preventing voltage surges and reducing the risk of electrical shock. Ensure that all grounding connections are secure and that the grounding system is properly maintained. Furthermore, consider the impact of electromagnetic interference (EMI) on the cable system. EMI can induce unwanted currents in the cable, which can lead to inaccurate measurements and even damage to the equipment. Shielding the cable can help to reduce the effects of EMI. Finally, document all inspections, tests, and repairs performed on the cable system. This documentation will provide a valuable record of the cable's condition and will help to track its performance over time. In a specific scenario described, the sudden jump in leakage current during the high-pot test suggests a breakdown in the insulation. The high humidity likely contributed to the problem by increasing the conductivity of any moisture present in the insulation. The fact that the leakage current stabilized after reaching 120 microamps may indicate that the breakdown was localized and did not propagate further. However, it is still essential to thoroughly investigate the cause of the breakdown and take appropriate corrective actions. The cable may have sustained permanent damage and may need to be replaced. Continuing to operate the cable in its current condition could lead to a catastrophic failure, which could result in significant downtime and safety hazards. Therefore, it is recommended to err on the side of caution and replace the cable if there is any doubt about its integrity. In addition to the technical aspects, it is also important to consider the safety implications of working with high-voltage cables. Always follow proper safety procedures and use appropriate personal protective equipment (PPE) when performing inspections, tests, or repairs. Ensure that the cable is de-energized and properly grounded before beginning any work. If you are not qualified to work on high-voltage cables, seek the assistance of a trained and experienced professional. Remember that electricity can be dangerous, and it is always better to be safe than sorry. By taking a proactive approach to cable maintenance and following proper safety procedures, you can help to ensure the reliable and safe operation of your electrical system. One should also consider the type of high-pot test being performed. Direct current (DC) high-pot tests are generally used for testing cables because they can reveal weaknesses in the insulation more effectively than alternating current (AC) tests. However, DC tests can also be more stressful on the insulation, so it is important to use the appropriate test voltage and duration. The test voltage should be based on the cable's rated voltage and the applicable industry standards. The duration of the test should be long enough to allow any weaknesses in the insulation to be detected, but not so long that it causes unnecessary stress. It is also important to monitor the leakage current closely during the test. A sudden increase in leakage current, as described in the scenario, is a sign of a potential problem. However, it is important to distinguish between a genuine insulation breakdown and a transient increase in leakage current due to charging effects. When a DC voltage is first applied to a cable, there will be a surge of current as the cable's capacitance is charged. This charging current will gradually decrease over time as the cable becomes fully charged. A genuine insulation breakdown will typically be characterized by a sudden and sustained increase in leakage current, often accompanied by a visible spark or arc. If you are unsure whether a leakage current increase is due to a genuine breakdown or a charging effect, it is best to stop the test and investigate further. You can also try repeating the test after allowing the cable to discharge for a sufficient period of time. If the leakage current increase persists, it is likely due to a genuine insulation breakdown. Remember to consult the cable manufacturer's specifications and recommendations for high-pot testing. The manufacturer may have specific guidelines for test voltages, durations, and acceptable leakage current levels. Following these guidelines will help to ensure that the test is performed safely and effectively. Furthermore, consider the impact of environmental factors on the high-pot test results. Temperature and humidity can affect the insulation's electrical properties, so it is important to record these parameters during the test. If the temperature or humidity is significantly different from the manufacturer's specifications, it may be necessary to adjust the test voltage or duration. Also, be aware of any sources of electromagnetic interference (EMI) that may be present in the testing area. EMI can interfere with the test equipment and produce inaccurate results. Shielding the cable and test equipment can help to reduce the effects of EMI. Finally, always document the results of the high-pot test, including the test voltage, duration, leakage current, temperature, humidity, and any other relevant observations. This documentation will provide a valuable record of the cable's condition and will help to track its performance over time. In conclusion, high-pot testing is a valuable tool for assessing the integrity of cable insulation. However, it is important to perform the test properly and to interpret the results carefully. By following the guidelines outlined above, you can help to ensure that the test is performed safely and effectively, and that the results are accurate and reliable. In addition to the points discussed, it's crucial to understand the specific type of XLPE cable being tested. Different XLPE formulations have varying dielectric strengths and performance characteristics. Knowing the cable's specifications will help in interpreting the high-pot test results accurately. The age of the cable also plays a significant role. As XLPE cable ages, it could experience degradation due to thermal stress, electrical stress, and environmental factors. This degradation can lead to a reduction in dielectric strength and increased susceptibility to insulation breakdown. Therefore, older cables may exhibit higher leakage currents or fail at lower test voltages compared to newer cables. The cable's operating history is also important. Cables that have been subjected to frequent overloads, voltage surges, or harsh environmental conditions may have experienced accelerated degradation. Understanding the cable's past operating conditions can provide valuable insights into its current condition. Furthermore, the termination method used for the cable can significantly affect its performance during high-pot testing. Improperly installed or damaged terminations can create stress concentrations that lead to premature insulation breakdown. Therefore, it's essential to carefully inspect the terminations before conducting the high-pot test. The presence of contaminants on the cable surface can also contribute to leakage current. Contaminants such as dirt, dust, moisture, or chemicals can create conductive paths that increase the surface leakage current. Cleaning the cable surface before testing can help to reduce this effect. The altitude at which the high-pot test is performed can also affect the results. At higher altitudes, the air is less dense, which can reduce the dielectric strength of the air surrounding the cable. This can lead to flashover or surface discharge at low test voltages. Therefore, it's important to consider the altitude when interpreting the high-pot test results. In addition to the leakage current, it's also important to monitor the voltage and current waveforms during the high-pot test. Any abnormalities in the waveforms, such as distortions or oscillations, can indicate a problem with the cable insulation. For example, a sudden drop in voltage or a sharp increase in current may indicate an insulation breakdown. The frequency of the high-pot test is also a factor to consider. Performing high-pot tests too frequently can stress the cable insulation and accelerate its degradation. Therefore, it's important to establish a reasonable testing schedule based on the cable's operating conditions and the manufacturer's recommendations. The type of test equipment used for the high-pot test can also affect the results. It's important to use calibrated and reliable test equipment to ensure accurate measurements. The test equipment should also be properly grounded to prevent electrical shock hazards. Before conducting the high-pot test, it's essential to verify that the cable is properly isolated from the rest of the electrical system. This will prevent damage to other equipment and ensure the safety of personnel. Isolation can be achieved by disconnecting the cable from the power source and grounding it at both ends. The grounding connection should be secure and reliable to prevent voltage buildup. During the high-pot test, it's important to monitor the cable for any signs of distress such as smoke, sparks, or unusual noises. If any of these signs are observed, the test should be stopped immediately and the cable should be inspected for damage. After the high-pot test is completed, it's important to discharge the cable before handling it. The cable can store a significant amount of electrical energy, which can pose a shock hazard if it is not properly discharged. Discharging can be achieved by connecting a grounding cable to the cable and allowing it to discharge through a resistor. In addition to the above considerations, it's also important to comply with all applicable safety regulations and industry standards when performing high-pot tests. These regulations and standards are designed to ensure the safety of personnel and prevent damage to equipment. Finally, it's important to remember that high-pot testing is just one tool for assessing the condition of cable insulation. Other diagnostic techniques such as insulation resistance testing, partial discharge testing, and time domain reflectometry can provide additional information about the cable's condition. A comprehensive assessment of the cable's condition should include a combination of these diagnostic techniques.